3 or 4 things anyway, certainly an alignment string. And
yes, most definitely.
so if he can send that to Adam, and then he can start having a look at it.
So it's in the chat, and there's the link to what also Railway Room has been trying to do with their test plans and test cases, and the instructions there are structured a bit differently than what you have in IfcTunnel deployment.
So,
but if you have any questions, you can also contact me regarding that. That's not a problem.
thank you, because you've got the validator going there as well, haven't you? Just like here. So
yeah.
Yep. And so from when I saw what the different
I mean,
tests were, we should be right.
Yeah. So to be clear, the Railway Room is also using validation service and is also using an IDS. Although it's more of, having 2 checkers check each other, so to say. Right, so that you have, the more checks you do, the better, of course. The higher the probability of a high quality. But so the instructions, or let's say the test cases, are a bit different, of course, because in tunnel we're focusing on the tunnel stuff. In rail they're focusing on the rail stuff, but the basic structure and stuff like that. So what we've done in the tunnel in sprints 1 and 2 are quite similar. Yes. And
of course, the rail one too is going to be IFC 4x3. So
yes,
that should be available. Was it now we're talking about maybe February, but it certainly will be available before IFC 4.
Regarding that, Lee, I would have a contra to, since you're available and I can keep you captive. End of citation. There, I posted the link to a pull request number 644 in the chat. Hopefully you have access to the chat.
To this chat, or
to this chat? Yes.
Yeah, I've got. There's one there.
So out of the 2 links, I've posted the first one.
Yeah, it's the first one.
Yes. So.
Yes, 4x3. Yeah, right.
Yes, that one? I would be really grateful if you can look through that as well, because it concerns georeferencing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I had a look yesterday, and there are quite some mistakes or errors in there that Evandro has been polishing out. But perhaps I didn't catch everything, so I would be really grateful if you can find some time and go through that part.
Well, I suppose since I asked you something, I have to do it in return. No, I'll have a look.
It's just you are one of the knowledgeable guys on that direction, on that turf, especially from the domain perspective, and there are some, I would say, not necessarily very luckily chosen formulations, and perhaps you have some other better ideas in your head.
Right. Yeah. I thought all that had really been sorted out, but I didn't realize. But no, I'll have a look.
So
it's a rather new one. Is it?
It is sort of sorted out, at least in the tunnel, but that's 4.4. And the way I understood Buildings One International, they want to fast forward this change from 4.4 to 4.3 in order to have it available already in 4.3.
This is with the IFC rigid operation and the
Correct,
IFC map conversion map conversion scaled.
Yes.
And which, I thought they were definitely going to be in 4x3. I'll be a bit upset if they're not.
They are going to be there. It's just now that they're let's say finalizing the documentation and everything. I believe now is a good time to figure out if there are any mistakes in there and act now before it becomes ISO ratified, and then we need to make the whole ISO process again if we're gonna be changing anything.
Yep, I will certainly put on my list to have a look at.
Would be very grateful. I was already considering tagging you in the pull request and asking politely, "Hey Lee, can you perhaps look through this as well?"
Yeah, certainly on the georeferencing.
Yeah.
Has Thomas Liebisch replied? Because he's been asked.
I'm not sure if he has replied yet. I also find it rather interesting that Leon has said that everything's fine, but then I have found some errors. Thomas has found some errors, so I'm not completely sure how that process goes. But Evander has asked me if I find some time, and I found some time yesterday to go through all the documentation and comments and everything. But this was just a first pass. I need to go through it again because they have changed now. With my comments, they have changed quite some stuff, or improved, of course.
So yeah, I did. Sorry, Michelle.
Go ahead, Lee, please.
Yeah, I did send Evandro a video conference talk I gave, which spoke about the georeferencing a few months ago from what I thought it was going to be. So it'll be interesting to see if he's taken anything from that. You probably haven't seen. You probably haven't seen it. I'll send you the link.
Please do share it with me as well. Yeah, I would be interested in what you've had to say.
Yeah, it was a talk I gave at a some BIM conference, which I just spoke about georeferencing to say just the different cases. It's not that hard if you sort of thing. It's only about 15 minutes, I think.
Exactly. Just the semantic and or the cases just need to be clear, and then we all know what we're doing. I completely agree.
And I also think, Banjo and who was the other gentleman you mentioned? Leon. I think Leon had it as well. So interesting. Yeah, everyone seems to get upset about georeferencing, but it should have been there in about IFC 2.
That would be my take as well. Yes, we sort of don't know how to build buildings without somewhere, some soil somewhere, some earth somewhere, some location probability somewhere.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing is because they didn't put stuff in there properly, to me, and I gave talks ages ago in Australia saying, well, IFC would cover no problem, GIS and everything ages ago if they just had georeferencing in, like you finally sort of got it in there, because all GIS had was bloody polygons, points, and
it's still the case.
It was simple. IFC could have done that ages ago.
Yeah, GIS is focused on the explicit geometries, and that's it. Done. Yeah. No design parameters, no nothing. Yeah.
So IFC could have been used for that, but everyone keeps talking about GIS and BIM as though they're almost two different worlds, which they're becoming, because the GIS people are starting to win with city GML and things like that, which is a real shame. But anyway,
I'll just stop the tunnel discussion. Let's remain within tunnel and let's have a beer over such topics.
Yeah. Have we got anyone else, or there's still just the three of us? The four of it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, apparently it is only us. Yes.
Well,
so one-to-one support for 12V. I mean,
it is.
What more can you ask for?
No, excellent. No, we'll keep working on the stuff.
Okay.
I was just looking for the video because I had to get permission to be able to send the video to people.
Okay. No, I would be interested. Yes.
But as you said, Stefan, the good news is that if some of the propositions we've made for 4.4, if they get injected into 4.3 addendum 1 or 4.3.10, then the better, of course.
I mean, personal opinion, but given that ISO has been sort of delayed, we could have just taken all of 4.4 and just shove it in 4.3, and we have tunnels with 4.3 and we're done.
Yeah,
But that's
maybe
just a
there's still
personal opinion, and I'm not sure how ISO would look at that. But that would, in my view, solve the question of what happens with the tunnel.
No, but I think they just look at the setup. You know, that's already 500 comments. So according to what was that? Was that Thomas? Or was that? Yeah, I think it was Thomas. Thomas Libich reported that they had already fixed 300 of those issues that were brought up by ISO, mostly documentation stuff. But still, that's good news. You know, 300 out of 500.
Yeah,
so the plan remains.
Let's be clear about that though. So a lot of those comments were just typos.
Yes.
Right.
So yes, you can of course do the Pareto principle, 20-80. So with 20% of effort, they fixed 80% of the issues, but for the last 20%, they're going to need 80% of effort. And georeferencing is one of those that requires a bit more effort than what they've done now.
Correct.
I've put the link to the video, I think, in the chat
looking
there.
at it.
Just check if it comes up. I think it's only a 15-minute talk. I had 15 minutes.
Which conference was this?
It was called Future Infrastructure Summit. It's something that Building Smart Australasia and a mob called Lean Construction run every year.
Okay.
And all the talks are only 15 minutes long. And I volunteered to say something about georeferencing.
Good.
So I did so. So there's some interesting, you might see some interesting comments about architects and other things. But
that's the way infrastructure works, right?
But the audience was very general. The audience was, some knew nothing about BIM. Some have had to try and do it for roads and other things. So it was.
So there's a
novice.
In a similar conference every December in Germany, but that's really focusing on the infrastructure. So one can make a lot of jokes about architects there because nobody will hit you afterwards.
Yes, I always ask how many architects there are in the audience first.
Yeah, of course.
But
one needs
they enjoy it.
One needs to be sure how many hits one will get after the talk, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'll have a look at this other issue, but it's mainly in documentation. Is it as you say, the problem with the link?
You mean with the georeferencing? So mainly it's documentation improvements, but they've also introduced concept templates and
I get confused about them.
I can help you with that, but there's a lot more of documentation in there as concept template, but it's already a lot if you review the documentation. There's already a huge chunk.
I'll have to get Adam to help me out.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, look, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you both for joining us continuously and supporting us. And if you have any questions and concerns, you can also reach us per email.
Are you getting many people at the other meeting, which is not as early in the day?
Yeah, a bit more because this is more European. Joining in the evening. Yes, usually yes.
But for the past 2 weeks, there aren't that many Europeans because they're all in summer holidays.
Scandinavians are a bit away.
We have summer here, Lee. Yeah, sorry.
Yes, sorry. Yes, I keep forgetting.
Scandinavians go early summer in vacation, like end of June, early July, whereas the Southern Europeans go rather August. So, for example, France, Spain, Italy, all these people, they go.
Scandinavia has 2 seasons, right? There's winter and there's July.
Exactly.
Yes, they are cold up there. Do you go at those different times so everyone doesn't run into each other? Is that how they've planned it? Or is it just...
No, for example, the whole Sweden is like that in July. You can get nothing there.
Yeah, no, I mean where Michelle said there's some groups go in July and some in August. had their holidays. Was that planned so that they all weren't going to the same places at the same time, or
No.
it just so
That is
happened?
not that is not organized. No.
Because our school holidays for different states are a bit organised like that, so they don't overlap a lot. So
Germany has it in such a manner, yeah. Bavaria is very, very late with the vacation, but for example, North Rhine-Westphalia is a bit earlier. So there is Germany is trying to have not as much overlap as possible.
Yeah, it certainly makes it hard. But I must admit, though, our summer vacations are all pretty well much at the same time. It's just the other ones through the year. Well, rightio, gentlemen. I actually unfortunately won't be in Paris or was it Oslo? Yeah, I'll miss both of them. I'll be in a conference in New Zealand. So are you going to both of them? I imagine you go to the Paris one, Michelle. Is it Michelle implementers? Is that the implementers?
Yeah, the implementers forum. Yeah, I'll try to go there. Yes, yeah. And then we have the Norway.
The Norway one. Are you both going to those?
I'm going to Paris, but not to Oslo.
Oslo. Yeah, I thought the implementers would be good. Fortunately, I'm in New Zealand at a conference at the same time, so that's why.
It's a bit closer, right? It's a bit closer.
Yeah, it's only 3 hours.
Only. Yeah. Okay. No. Thank you both.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good summer.
Video.
Have a good summer.
Thank you.
Next week, right?
Actually, what temperature is it
right now?
Yeah.
In Paris, we have close to 20. Past days we had 28, 29, 27
right.
Celsius. Yeah, that's nice. That's pretty nice. That's full summertime.
In Germany, so in Munich, we had sort of a heat wave the past week, so we went up to 35.
Oh,
were you? Okay.
That would be nasty for Germany. You wouldn't be prepared for that.
I am not enjoying myself. But we had a huge storm, quite a storm last night. So now it's manageable, 23 or something.
Yeah.
London
so
gets that temperature.
We wish them good luck as well with its development, of course.
Yes.
Later.
Yes, he's doing all the work there. Talk to everyone later.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.